hope you guys like that intro. So you're alone, you want to play some pool, it seems boring to go downstairs and just play by yourself. I think I got the perfect trick for you. So before we get started, a quick shout out to our newest member. If you're interested in joining and becoming a member, go to my channel and check out what my membership page has to offer. Most importantly, to make pool more exciting when you're by yourself, you need to challenge yourself and be able to show that you're progressing over time with a goal out in sight, right? So, first and foremost, what I'm going to explain to you today is all trackable, traceable. You're able to track the statistics and show that over time you're getting better by doing the things that you do in this video. Number two, being able to keep stats and saying, like, hey, I want to be able to make a straight in shot 80% of the time. And maybe in January you're at 60%, in February you're at 70%, and finally in October you reach that 80% threshold. That makes it so much more exciting to come downstairs knowing that you're practicing in part of a bigger picture to get better and improve that percentage to whatever your goal might be. Third, some of these things that I'm going to show you today, you can actually challenge your friends virtually with. So maybe you're like, hey, I just got 75% on this challenge today. What did you guys get? Or maybe you take a video of it and record your progress of going from 40% to 70% over time. So let me start talking to you about some of the mini games, lessons, things that I do when I'm by myself that I track, and I'll be showing you all my tracking sheets here shortly when I'm alone playing pool in my basement. The first one I call straight pool progression. So if you haven't played straight pool before, it's where you just break the balls and you're trying to make any ball into any pocket. You don't have to be stripes or solids. You just take any shot that you have and you're trying to just not miss and run as many balls as you can. So my variation of that is straight pool progression, where I'm doing the same thing. I'm breaking, I'm running any ball that I can, but I'm tracking how many misses I have per rack. Right? So maybe your goal is to miss on average less than 3 times when trying to break and run out a straight pool rack. So what I like to do is by month and by count of 10, I track what my average straight pool misses are. And over time, I remember when I was a 3 handicap and I was just starting 10 years ago, I was averaging like 6 misses per game, right? Now my goal is to get less than 1 miss per game when I play straight pool. I have sheets of over hundreds and hundreds of straight pool. How many times did I miss? How many times did I miss? So I'll show you an example of that as well as my stat sheet. Okay. So right off the bat, I have 2 misses. So I have to run this out completely or else I'm not at my goal for this challenge. So I'm going to look at my problem balls. I think it's these 2. I'll start here. Clean this one up. This gets a little bit harder towards the end of the rack, as does any game of pool. So I think it's a good practice. Not a great shot. Okay, so I'm still at 2, which is the goal. Alright, so now I would write down the date, and I would write down 2, and we'd be on to the next one. The next one, I just made this up recently. It's, blending pool with golf. A lot of pool players like to play golf, and vice versa, so why not blend those together into a cool mini game? So hopefully you've heard of 3-ball. 3-ball is where you just place 3 balls on the point where you usually break from, and you break and you try to make the 3 balls in the fewest amount of shots possible, with the break counting as 1. So how do you translate that into golf? So if you have the break and you make all 3 balls, I would consider that par, which is 4 shots. Now, what I do is I play 9 holes. I incorporate par 3s and par 5s, where, okay, your standard par 4 is you have your 3 balls. A par 3, you only have 2 balls. A par 5, you have 4 balls, right? So you get where I'm going with that. I'll play 9 holes trying to see if I can shoot par while playing 3-ball. I'll show you what that stat sheet looks like as well. We'll start with a par 4, which, if you haven't played 3-ball, you're just setting up your 3 balls where you would usually break from, and you're breaking from the other side. Your break counts as 1 shot, and every shot after that also counts as 1 shot. A scratch counts as 2. So this is a par 4 because we have 3 balls and the cue ball, and so I'll see if I can break and make these in 4 shots to get par. Again, I like to set a course, I'm going to go 2 less than par or 2 over par and set my goal for that, but you can see what this looks like. Wow, so I made one on the break, which is a bonus. However, I don't have a shot. Okay, so that's 2. That's 3. And that's 4. So on hole 1, I got a par. Now let's look at a par 3, where I'm just going to have 2 balls. I'll get this thing out of the way. I'm just going to set them there. You can break however you want, depending on how competitive you're being. So you could hit this with a soft break, trying to ensure you have set up on a shot, which I do, but it's not that easy. So that was 1. Now I need to make both of these in order to get a par. Okay, that was 2. And that was 3. So I did indeed get a par on hole number 2. And now this final example is a par 5. So going into hole 3, I'm at even par. I'd be tracking this on a piece of paper. Alright, so now we have a par 5. Made one on the break. Do that, so that's 2. Three. And this is for birdie. Birdie and a scratch. So that would have been 4, but since I scratched, it's actually 6, so that would be a bogey. So from those 3 holes, I'm 1 over par. So I hope you use this and play 9 holes, and now we'll get into the next one. Next one, how do you blend basketball with pool, you might ask? Well, I somehow figured out a way to do that. So to me, comparing a free throw to a straightened shot seems pretty similar. Pros average in the 80s, 90% of free throws, whereas pool players should, in turn, average around 80 to 90% of a long straightened shot. And so, what I like to do is I shoot 10 straightened shots and I track how many out of 10 did I make. Now, you may be at 40% when you first try this. And, I promise you, after a couple months of doing it religiously, that percentage is going to continue to grow. And when you see that you're improving and you see that you're getting closer to that goal, that's what makes it exciting to play pool. You're challenging yourself. It's a competition against yourself. You don't need anyone else there to see it. And next time you go to play a match, you're going to be that much better because in your mind, you're like, oh, this shot is just like a free throw. I make this 90% of the time. You're going to find yourself making a lot more frequently, even under pressure situations. And you'll notice I'm mixing up my bridge in between these. There you go. So 90% on the free throw percentage challenge. I would then track that and maybe try this one more time, but over time, I'm going to see a progression there from that 90%. The last one is playing against the ghost. This is the most common, practice by yourself type of drill. I'll be honest with you, I find this one gets a little bit boring and repetitive, and that's why I try to think of the other ones that I've already told you about. But when you're playing against the ghost, you're the one breaking and you're the one who steps up to the table if you miss, right? Now, to set a stat to this or a trackable measure to this, I would say try to, aim to beat the ghost at least 60% of the time. If you're breaking, you already have the advantage. You already have control of the game, especially if you make a ball on the break. So you should be beating the ghost if you're the one breaking and not the ghost. I will just say when you are playing ghost games, make sure that you're still incorporating safes into those matches. You're playing smart, you're playing two-way shots. You don't want to play the ghost and just act as a run-out player. You want to play against yourself, the exact same skill level as you, playing as hard and as smart as you can in those matches, and that will make you a better player. And so with all that, that's everything I have for you guys. I hope this makes it more exciting for you. I hope you're eager to go down in the basement and calculate your percentage on your straight pool progression or try to beat the course record, you know what I'm saying, in a game of pool golf with 3-ball. Always remember to set goals and track and measure your ride from where you're starting to where you want to be. That's what I find makes it the most exciting to come down here and play by myself. Otherwise, I would probably lose my mind. So thank you guys for watching. I hope this helps. Feel free to drop any comments on anything that you're struggling with in your pool game, and I'll try to make a video on that soon. And if you like this video, please like it, share it, and give me a subscribe even. So thank you.